Hey everyone, welcome to Weekly Market Chat. I'm Johnny, I'm your host today. We also have Benz and also Stephanie here. Hey Benz, hey
Hello.
Stephanie.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, I'm great. Hope you're doing great as well.
Yes.
Um, today we have some interesting topics. First of all, as usual, we'll look at the market, just a general overview. We'll go through charts of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and also DXY to see how things are going. And then Elon Musk just purchased Twitter, and it has been a very controversial issue, and we're definitely very excited, and we're going to discuss this issue with you guys, and also we will look at Dogecoin because it has been pumping recently, and showing a lot of strength, and we're going to look at the chart and see how it's going right now. And we believe that the acquisition of Twitter by Elon Musk, since Elon Musk is pro crypto, and then we think that uh, the acquisition of Twitter will definitely boost development and foster development of SocialFi, social finance, which we are going to elaborate some ideas in the later on session. And then we have noticed that ZK Saints Baby Alpha, the mainnet, just launched, and it's an interesting product and also a very fascinating protocol, and we are going to um, just talk a little bit about this with you guys. And last, we just had an announcement from Hong Kong government, which said that Hong Kong is going to be embracing the development of crypto and also blockchain technology. And there are also plans that the Hong Kong government wants to do with EHKD, the CBDC, central bank digital currency, and also some NFT stuff, which we'll also talk about later. So without further ado, let's just have a very quick overview of current market, right? So let me just switch the chart to Bitcoin real quick, okay? So we are now trading at 20K, 400, and then the resistance of 0.618 Fibonacci retracement was held. I think it is still holding pretty nice, and two times rejected two times. I think that's a signal that this Fibonacci level will be a very key resistance if we break above, and then if we consolidate above this Fibonacci level, and then it's likely that we will see some upward development. But if we are trading below this level, and then I think the probability of we going sideways and then more selling pressure will come ahead, and then we'll trade downwards. The probability would be greater, in my opinion. And just look at ETH. Let's see how ETH is doing right now. It's a little bit messy here. All right, so we're now trading at 1,553, and as for this one, some key important levels to watch out. If we put a flip here, the 618 already broken, and it's showing a lot greater strength than Bitcoin, but still a lot to be dominated by Bitcoin's gravity in crypto, and therefore if Bitcoin goes down, I think the whole crypto market will be dragged. And looking at this, why we're now trading at 110, and then if we take a closer look here, some sideways. I think DXY will have some big volatility coming tonight ahead because we have the FOMC meeting around let me check, like 5 hours later, right? And that would be interesting because you know yeah, Benz, what do you think about the FOMC meeting tonight?
Mm,
Yeah.
I think everybody expecting a 75 basis point at this current point. I mean, there are some people. I mean, some market investors, they are thinking of what we discussed last week regarding the Fed's pivot. So I think right now is that I think for me it's definitely a 75 basis point. However, there are chances of like uh, factors like the midterms elections coming. I think in mid of November. So the Feds might actually give a 50 basis point hike to actually cause the market to rally during the election. Then maybe they do a 75 basis point hike in December.
Yeah. You also talked about that. We just had the data released today, which was the ADP National Employment Report, right? And then it came out. You told me that it came out better than what we expected. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So so just let me recap of like what happened like yesterday. So yesterday, the three indexes, I would say they are trading sideways, but they generally all three are down. But mostly down the one that is down the most is the Nasdaq Composite because during a bear market, the growth stocks are usually the one that is like getting the biggest hit. So Nasdaq, comprises mostly of that growth stocks,
Yeah.
hence they dropped the most. And also like last week, we had all the big tech earnings came out, and I think 3 out of 5 of them were I would say lower than expected. Hence, Nasdaq has been suffering for the past I think 1 month. Yeah. So yesterday, one of the reasons for the small drop is definitely due to the ISM PMI, which came in higher than expected, which is 50.2 versus expectation of 50. And then the jobs report from job openings came up much higher than expected of 10.7 million versus expectation of 10 million. And it's also higher than the previous, which is last month's October's reading, which is 10.28. So all these two, usually how we see whether is how this data impact the market. Like put it simply, is as long as they are above expectation, all right, they should be bullish on the USD. Like
Yeah.
in general, that's what we expect. Then as for the ADP National Employment Report, which came in around 8 p.m. an hour ago, was two two point 270,000 or 280,000, if I'm not wrong. Let me check. Yeah, 239,000. Sorry, 239,000 against the forecast of 195K, and it's even higher than last month's, which is 208K. So this job reports plus uh higher ISM PMI reports, all these translate into higher more bullish for USD, which actually gives the Feds more reason for them to actually hike rates higher. So they'll be more hawkish. So all these three readings actually will make the Feds more confident in giving the market another 75 basis points. And actually, this is like what they wanted, soft landing, which is a good job report, good jobs data, and control inflation through their monetary policy. Yeah.
I see.
Then what do you think?
You talked about soft landing. I hope they would be successful. Because I hope we're not getting repression. No, recession has been just renamed technically. And
Yeah,
then yeah, labor market, the ADP came out better than what we expected. And then the Fed, you said that the Fed would likely be more hawkish. They have more bullets left, right?
yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, I think as usual, I wish that um they can do the soft landing, and then we can just move on to another bullish phrase. And that's what I
Yeah,
think. But sometimes
and
it seems like they want to take the money from the equity market, and they're gonna pull the liquidity out of the market because they injected too much before,
yeah,
and that's
and
what they're gonna do.
I personally think it's still too much compared to like 2019. Still like way above whatever that is pumped into the economy.
Yeah.
And also, yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's like for me personally, I feel that even though how much they pump, I mean how much they want to take the liquidity out, it's still quite difficult for them to actually remove it entirely. It's more like if you know I don't know how to put it. It's like you give the money to the public, but you want to take it back. It's quite difficult. See.
Yeah. I I I I get what you're saying. Right now I just want to, pull out a chart from the Federal Reserve because give me a minute. Yeah, I want to show uh the federal balance sheet, just an illustration to show our audience that how much money is being pumped into the market since COVID. Just a minute. Yeah, yeah, you see this, right?
Yeah.
You see this. And just now you talked about, the money is simply just too much being injected into the market since 2020. And then we started from like 4.5 millions that's 4.5 millions of US dollars, right?
Yes.
To 9 millions of US dollars, and then it's just being cooled down a little bit, right?
Yeah. It's just
And
a minor cool down.
yeah, still a double. Yeah, so
Yes.
that I also agree with you that we are still early. It's too early
Yes.
for pivot. I don't think people are maybe too hopium.
Yeah. It's more like from what I see, it's like normally, if you read about economics, I mean, even if you read like economic textbooks or you study economics before, you know that monetary policy, is what the Feds do to actually remove liquidity from the market.
Yeah,
So after like uh interest rate hike since January, since the start of the year,
yeah,
the amount of liquidity removed from market is so little. In a way, you can is like the U.S. monetary policy is not working at all.
yeah,
It's like I would say failure in monetary policy, but the market is not reacting in the right way. See?
yeah, yeah, right. Talking about liquidity, I also want to show you the reverse repo. We've been tracing it like a hawk because we want to monitor the level of this liquidity instrument very closely. Right now they just increased. I think it would be like 100 billion of US dollars of assets being withdrawn from the market, being pulled into the reverse repurchase agreements. And then that's not a bullish thing that we will take a sign of. And then this is a little bit bearish because liquidity is being withdrawn from the market, and the Fed will take the money with them. And we'll also look at the BTC versus inverted RLP weekly average, and still sideways, no big change. But I I I strongly think that we're gonna see some selling pressure ahead in crypto. That's my opinion, but not financial advice. I'm just doing some analysis here, so just a reference for you guys. Yeah. So yeah, we
Yeah.
also have some yeah, some interesting yield curve thing, and also some meetings probabilities here. And yeah, go ahead, Vance.
Okay. So according to this chart, which is the Fed CME Fed Watch tool. So I think everybody knows how it is derived from. So like to be in short, is this probability is derived from the I'll say the futures prices of the US Treasuries. So from there is sort of like implied probability that we take from the prices. So from this impact probability, you really can see that for tonight's FOMC decision, there's a 75 basis points hike. But this is taken, I think, almost 10 hours ago. I think 8 hours ago. So right now, from what I see from my screen, is around 90%. So there's not much change. Yeah. So, however, there's still a split between the next meeting of December, which is a 50-50 split of 50% and 50 basis points and 75 basis points hike. So the market is still how to say deciding or waiting for the Fed's statements later today to see whether there's a small pivot or not. Yeah. And based on that, you'll see if the terminal interest rate will shift left of the graph or whether it will remain as a current. Yeah. So last week I did mention about, we did discuss like yield curve and what's the difference between like the long dated US bonds and the short dated US Treasury notes, right? So, and we discussed like why there's an inversion and why it causes inversion. So yeah, I think Johnny found this picture from this image from a Fred, and it says that okay, the one that is there's a dip below zero means when the yield curve inverted. So the red one is the difference between 3-month Treasury and 10 years, and the yellow one is 2 years versus 10 years. So from this graph, you can see that almost every time the yield curve inverts, and it will take about a year or so for the recession to come in. So this thick vertical white line is the recession period. So we have a recession in 1990. There's a recession in year 2000, 2008, and right now we had one in 2020, which is caused by COVID. But right now we have a longer dated inversion, which have not led to a recession. So all these are signs of recession, but it's not a hard indicator. If you look at like 1997, there's a small dip, but it didn't cause a recession after 1997.
Oh, here.
Yeah, that
I
one.
see.
Yeah. It doesn't cause, but that was during the Asian financial crisis. In a way, it sort of caused a recession, but it didn't cause a recession in the US. Yeah, this is based on the US Treasury. Yeah, this is the reason why always people panic when the yield curve inverted, and this is one of the reason why.
Yeah, because we look at past evidence, right? And in my opinion, this is a really good piece of evidence showing that if the yield curve is inverted and then recession is coming later, we're just at the beginning of the inversion of the yield curve, right? I noticed that every time the yield curve is being inverted and then it comes right back after the recession hits, right?
Yeah.
And then we're just halfway through.
Usually that is when the Feds realize that the economy couldn't handle their interest rate hikes anymore.
I see.
And then there's a liquidity crunch, and hence they reverse their monetary policy. Usually that's the case for especially 2008, etc. Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. That's all for market news today.
Yeah. Thank you, Benz.
Anyway, there's one more key events that's happening tomorrow, which is the UK central bank's meeting. So the results will come out at around 8 p.m. Singapore time. So which is around 12, if I'm not wrong, it's 12
What's the market expectation of the Bank of England's decision to raise raise rates?
Right now, I think the UK is around 2.25%
I see.
and 2.25%. Just a minute. Give me a minute check. If I'm not wrong, it's around 2.25%, and they're expecting a 75 basis points hike.
I see.
So yeah, so what we'll see for today's hike, because right now I would say that DXY will be very volatile during this period till tomorrow,
Yeah.
because DXY
Okay.
GBP British pound is not part of the basket of DXY, right? So
Yeah.
if the Fed's gonna raise interest rate today, later, then after that, later in the day, the UK central bank gonna raise the interest rate also. So
I see.
yeah, so there will be like up and down for the DXY.
I see.
Yeah. So for those who are trading DXY, just be careful. Okay?
Yeah, a lot of volatility
Yeah,
coming
you might
ahead.
get yeah, you might get whipsaw.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So that's all for the macro market analysis for today. And then let's move on to something funny and also amusing, in my opinion, because Elon Musk has purchased Twitter, and that has been a very controversial issue, and people are very excited. Some more news upon purchasing Twitter, and then Elon Musk fired off the CEO and also CFO, and also we activated the Twitter account of Donald Trump, and that's some moves I would deem very contradictory to the original Twitter policy. And the firing of CEO and also CFO also show that Elon would take a different approach. And people are saying that they free the bird. Elon free the bird. What does it mean? It means that they are getting the freedom of speech coming back in Twitter, and then they will also try to fix the problem of too many bots and also spam accounts on Twitter. And then Twitter has been a very special place for crypto bros like me and also Ben's, right? And
Definitely.
yeah, especially the community of Dogecoin. And therefore, since the acquisition, the price of Doge pumped almost twice. It's very amazing. Actually, I would like to show you the chart of Dogecoin, and let me just switch the window 1 second, and then yeah,
It's not only Dogecoin. I think there's a lot of other
all coins,
uh
right?
altcoins that
Yeah,
are like
LP,
associated with Twitter,
yeah,
like Mars Network, for example, which introduced the Web3 tipping and stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah. So Mars Network has been quite on fire like for the past 2 days. Few days
yeah,
actually. Yeah, it's really scary, you see.
yeah. But among all of the pumps, the biggest pump would be the Doge pump, and it is 167.5% since last Tuesday, and it was so big. The pump was so big. Many people, were so excited and also joined the pump. Some people FOMO, but I'm not talking about whether it's time to ape in or not, because um, I haven't been watching Dogecoin for a while, so I will just stay out of the market, and I would just yeah, I just want to show you the chart how crazy this was, the pump was, and it's still pumping, and till now it's still pumping. And yeah, let's just get back to some other news. And then since Dogecoin is the son of Elon Musk, and there are news saying that Twitter will going to adopt Dogecoin as a payment gateway for Twitter users. And that's something we want to discuss here, because Twitter is a very big social media platform. A lot of people are using it, and um, by incorporating Dogecoin into Twitter, and I think that will transition Twitter into something, a social media in Web3, and that's what also the CEO of Binance CC said when he assisted Elon Musk acquisition on Twitter. CC said that he actually want to assist Twitter from transitioning from being a Web 2 giant to a Web 3 social media giant, and that's an interesting statement because CC is a big investor in crypto, and if he has the dedication in doing so and he succeeded, right, and Twitter is being acquired by Elon Musk, and then what we're seeing now is a revolution of Web 2 and also social media. We are seeing some changes coming ahead of Twitter. We also have a news upon the acquisition. The Twitter team announced to develop some functions which will allow users buying and selling NFTs on the platform indirectly by using uh, the new function Twitter tiles, NFT tiles, and that's interesting because we are already seeing that Twitter is crypto proactive, very very active and also proactive. And what I'm speculating here is that um, I I I'm thinking that Twitter will have a chance to uh, to become the leader of the SocialFi ecosystem. Um, there's a lot of things to discuss here when it comes to SocialFi, but the main point is that Twitter is incorporating a cryptocurrency as its payment method, so that users can pay each other using Dogecoin. And Dogecoin is very famous, and Twitter has a very large user base. And these two reasons make me think that uh, Twitter will be likely to transform into a Web 3 social media giant. So I just want to know what you guys think about it. Stephanie, you have any opinion about Twitter becoming something like into Web 3 social media giant?
Yeah, uh, I think it will build a Web3 platform. Because Elon Musk had ever said that he want to build a, a Twitter like WeChat, and in WeChat uh, there will be a payment, and also many programs or projects are built on WeChat, and people in China lives with WeChat, and I think is are important tools in not social but also in life that people cannot live without WeChat. So I think if Twitter can build like WeChat, and in the world there are many people that use Twitter, and also in Twitter there are many projects of that like Web3 projects like GameFi or other projects. I think is it's not only a SocialFi projects. It will build a platform like a blockchain. And that's what I thought about the future of the Twitter.
I'm sorry, I just muted my mic. Uh, I think the biggest thing, of all is that Twitter already has a very large user base, and among I would say a large percentage of the users, they are familiar with Web 3, and since there are already many users in Twitter who are familiar with Web 3, and it's easier for this Web 3 culture, I would say crypto culture, to spread among other communities, and that's what I think. So uh, social media is very good at spreading information, and also to I would say like infecting other with some culture and ideology, and even memes are trending, right? And it is very bullish for the NFT communities and also crypto, because they would drag more users, Web 2 users, into crypto, and that's I would say a very um almost a pivot in this whole bearish market and that's the most bullish thing I've ever seen in this bearish market, and that's what I think about. Yeah. So that's all for the Doge thing and also Twitter thing. So make sure you stay tuned to Twitter, and coming ahead, ZK Sane has just launched its mainnet. It's called Baby Alpha. And for some of you who might not be very familiar with ZK Sane, Dr. Wei is definitely, has been looking into ZK Sane for some time. And I think, yeah, let's just brief our audience some background information about ZK Sane and, the mainnet thing, so that, they know what's happening right now.
Yeah, okay. I remember a few weeks ago, we have already talked about the layer 2 solutions. And we think there will be a lot of news and activities come from layer 2 projects. Well, we can see from this picture, these layer 2 projects are going to launch mainnet or issue tokens. So this week we can pay attention to the ZK Sync project because its mainnet called Baby Alpha is launching. And well, I will explain Baby Alpha later. And before that, I want to show some information about ZK Sync. ZK Sync is a layer 2 solution and uses ZK knowledge proof as its core technology. And we know that there are two low-up solutions. One is optimistic low-up, and the other is the zero knowledge low-up. And ZK low-up is considered to be the most promising and successful layer 2 solution in the future. So ZK Sync and Stagnate, these two projects get high value, and many famous capitals like A16Z invested them. We can see that ZK Sync has get $15.6 million from its backers, and the Stagnate get $270 million. Yeah, and there are a lot of projects built on ZK Sync. The total number is almost 186 projects, and 20 are under construction, of which DeFi and infrastructure and NFT are these three major sectors. And there are 57 DeFi projects accounting for 13%, and 46 infrastructure projects accounting for 24%, and 19 NFT projects accounting for 10%. So we can join these projects, and there are many choice for us. And next we can see the on-chain data. ZK Sync has moved more than $16 million in TVL and ranked 7th in among layer 2 solutions. It's a good start, and we can see some clues from these two pictures below. The transactions and the amount of ETH deposited have been increasing a lot in these few weeks. So I think people has noticed that ZK Sync may have some actions. So then I explain the Baby Alpha mainnet. We can see the next slide. And I think we don't need to be so excited about this news, because this mainnet is just worked for its team members. It's a series of real mining stress tests, so there won't be extra projects or users. We can see there are only 8 transactions from the mainnet explorer. We can wait for their results and see whether it can launch the alpha mainnet smoothly. And maybe few months later, at December or next year, DataSync will fully launch alpha mainnet, and general users can participate and maybe have chance to get airdrop from the DataSync project. So there are all the information that I have shown the DataSync. Yeah. Johnny, hi. I think you
I'm sorry,
mute.
I just
Yeah.
muted my again. Yeah. Thank you, Stephanie, for explaining CK Sync to us. And for those of you who would like to participate in the full launch alpha, make sure you stay tuned to their Twitter and also their social media or their website, because some of you and also including me just missed the airdrop of Aptos, and some people out there using bot to generate a lot of Apto tokens from airdrop and make a bucks on upon the listing on centralized exchange. And make sure you don't miss this opportunity here. I think CKSync will be will be huge, since Dr. Wei Stephanie just said that the ecosystem is very nice, and they already have a lot of projects going on and enriching the ecosystem. And also it also has a total lot value of 63 billion as shown in this chart, and that's pretty good point. Stephanie said that is a very nice starting point here, and I think that's a must go for for a pretty good ad job. There's free money being minted out there. And yeah, that's all for the CK Sync stuff. And then moving on, something about regulation. And Hong Kong just announced on the 31st of October. Hong Kong said that the Hong Kong government said that they are going to embrace the development of crypto, especially the technology of blockchain. And then they are very proactive now, very strange, because previously they were not very friendly with crypto bros like me, right? Sometimes they post a lot of ads on social media and also TV, saying some virtual assets are not safe. And this kind of propaganda was, I would say, was very frequent to be seen among the general public. And now they're certainly very active. And also, but that's not a bad thing. I'm still, I would say it's a good thing overall, because I'm living in Hong Kong. I'm staying in Hong Kong right now. It's good to see the Hong Kong government embracing crypto, so that I'm seeing a lot of opportunities here. And I would like to discuss something with you guys, fans, and also Stephanie. They have the NFT project. Hong Kong government has the NFT project. I'm a little bit confused, because uh, I don't think they have something to offer. The NFT issuance for Hong Kong FinTech Week. And yeah, you have any news about this thing? The pilot project, NFT issuance for Hong Kong FinTech Week. What is that?
I think have you been to like the Ethereum convention in Denver? I think the most recent one, where they give participants, people who attend this convention NFT to actually, as a ticket, to actually come into uh participate in this convention. So I think from what I know, or from what I read from this from the announcements the Hong Kong government gave, is I think they will issue NFT to these participants who are attending this Hong Kong FinTech Week. So in the sense is if you were to buy the ticket, you will receive an email that will have a QR code that will be linked to the NFT. So if
Okay,
you
so one question.
Yeah.
Do I use crypto to pay for the NFT, or do I use the the currency HKD to purchase the NFT? That's interesting, right? That's
I think
interesting.
I think you have to use like fiat to
Yeah. I see.
to pay for this ticket because I don't think I don't think maybe the third party the ticketing vendor would have that kind of I would say technology, or they are not that savvy at the moment
Yeah,
to actually do issue NFT or issue transactions using on-chain transactions to
yeah.
pay for ticket.
I think
So
they would like me to use EHKD later on when they have
yeah,
this thing, available in the public.
yes. So
Yeah.
I think this is just like a pilot for Hong Kong government to actually issue NFT ticket. So because this is like this Hong Kong FinTech Week is like, I wouldn't say it's not the first convention, but it's one of the government I wouldn't say sponsored, government approved convention, crypto convention in Hong Kong. So it is sort of like NFT worthy for people to hold the wallet. Yeah, and from what I read about this NFT is you will send the email to the ticket holder to actually walk them through how to actually uh make this NFT, put this NFT into their hot wallet or their own wallet. Yeah, so
I
it's
see.
not like a form of education for the public to actually uh help them to actually impart some I say crypto knowledge to others, like after when they want to like issue the green bond or their own CBDC later.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're
Yeah,
preparing for, just laying down the foundation for the adoption of green bond tokenization, also the CBDC of EHKD later on, right? They are laying down the foundation. They are teaching the general public about some major concepts of crypto and also blockchain. They want people to know how to use it, right?
yes,
I see. Yeah, and also the EHKD is a kind of CBDC. Yeah, and I think I'm right. A kind of CBDC, and whether it will use ledger technology or not, I'm not sure, but uh, yeah, I'm staying close and also staying tuned to the future announcement about the development of EHKD. But I think there will be something similar to digital yuan, right?
yeah. There's also like news like the Chinese government is I think supporting this initiative by the Hong Kong government to do their own CBDC. So I think it's something, I mean, under Chinese administration, I think it's something good coming out from China. And
Oh,
also one thing about the no, I have a question for you, Leonie.
yeah,
So if the Hong Kong central bank were to use their CBDC, which is the
yeah,
HKD, so
yeah.
all their monetary policy will be transparent, right?
Uh,
So if they want to like buy or sell their own bonds, so everything is transparent.
yeah, everything will be transparent. But actually, I'm already you know, some people here, I'm staying in Hong Kong, and some people here, I would say, younger generation who are very getting used to using smartphones and digital apps, and then we are already using something like EHKD, because the HSBC, the HSBC Bank, that's Hong Kong and Shanghai, right? Shanghai HSBC Bank, and then they launched a app called Pay Me. I don't know if you heard it before, and it's something like digital currency. I would say it's something similar to Alipay. It's definitely you're I think you're very familiar with Alipay, and then you think it's a
Where
kind of CBDC. Do you think?
no,
No.
that's total difference because
Sorry.
yeah, because Alipay is that the company Alibaba built a account in the bank, so they they transact there are real money in the cash transactions between the banks, so it's not the CBDC. And in China, the digital yuan is not built on the blockchain, so their their mental foundation, and that's totally different with the CBDC. So I don't know whether the UHD EHKD will build on blockchain or just the same technology as digital yuan.
Okay, but from a user point of view, I would say the user interface, they look actually very similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the effect is similar,
Yeah.
but the fundamental, the principle is not.
Yeah. So it's okay to think, they look similar, but we got to understand the fundamentals and also the basics behind. What's the difference, between having a digital banking system, something like Alipay, and then they have the digital yuan, and then what are the benefits of adopting the digital yuan instead of using Alipay? Because from a user perspective, and then from the user interface, it just looks exactly the same, and then there has to be something to offer for the technology to be adopted, right? And I'm not very familiar with this adoption thing. You have any ideas?
Yeah, I think the most different is that the government control the digital yuan, but that a single company cannot control it. And
Oh, I see. Sorry.
yeah, and I think Alipay has a huge rise to and it threats the central bank of China, and so is the only company that built a a a backup account in the central bank, so it has huge influence.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
So the
and
difference will be
that's
whether your data will be owned by the government and also by a private banking company, right? Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So it comes to data ownership.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think if you are like Alibaba, right? So if you own Alibaba and you have Alipay, so Alibaba owns all your data. So what you buy, what you spend on, Alibaba has your information, right?
What
And
about
they
in
can use,
Singapore? Hey, Benz. What about in Singapore? Any plan for your government to launch a CBDC, something like ESDG, something like that?
for now, we are still at the very infancy stage. Yeah, we're still at the start. We just got approved for USDC.
What does it
Uh,
mean? Does it mean that people in Singapore can purchase USDC by crypto or by fiat?
uh,
Both?
yes. So currently, a lot of like exchanges, like tokenized exchange, other exchanges, they only can buy crypto using Singapore dollar, so HTD. So it's fiat.
Okay.
So if USDC were to be introduced or were to be approved, which happened today, so users can buy USDC using HTD, and I think there'll be more trading pairs for Singapore exchanges. So
Okay.
so I think in near future you'll see like there's more volume coming in for Singapore exchanges, because ever since Binance, Huobi, other big exchanges were, we moved out from Singapore, right? Singapore don't really have um like I would say we don't have a very good exchange with high liquidity. So I think it's something good for a start, where our central bank is opening up to crypto trading or crypto assets, which I think is a big step. And for me, I think it's because also Singapore and Hong Kong is like two financial hubs in Asia, and they're always competing one another in terms like specs, in terms like which one is the bigger financial hub.
Yeah.
So I think for Singapore wise, I think they don't want to lose out to Hong Kong as well in terms of like crypto friendliness. Because if you see a lot of like good like big names like Paradigm, see Tencent, they are from Singapore. And with all these big crypto companies in Singapore, I don't understand like why Singapore is still very I mean, they are like really tiptoeing around the crypto, like wanting to jump in, but no, they don't want to touch it.
Maybe they are
I think with
being
this,
a little bit conservative
I
for
think it's too
lawmakers.
conservative. Yeah,
Yeah, and
because for I've been living in Singapore for my whole life. I mean, it's not politics, but Singapore government tends to be very conservative in terms of like policies. They want to actually see what the others are doing first and what's the result of it before they actually implement some that policy. So yeah, this I think we are very cautious about it.
yeah, cautious. But you just said that big exchanges moved out of Singapore, and then do you expect them to come back later?
I think slowly.
Slowly.
I think eventually, if Singapore wants to remain as the financial hub in Asia, definitely have to open up some base. And I think a lot of big exchanges are actually in talks with the Singapore government also. So I don't know how to for them to actually have headquarters in Singapore and stuff like that.
We have something interesting here in Hong Kong to protect the retail traders in crypto. They ban retail traders who own assets less than 1 million USD from trading cryptos.
Less than 1 million.
Yeah, less than 1 million USD.
So
if I remember, yeah, that will be USD. Maybe HKD, but at least 1 million, either in HKD or USD. But I think it's USD. I remember it's USD.
So I have to own 1 million in BTC for me to trade crypto.
Yeah, no. Worth of 1 million
and above.
And above, yeah.
So it's more like crypto is only available for institutional investors.
Yeah, it's very strange. And maybe at some point they just want to protect the retail trader from getting ripped and getting wrecked by market makers.
Yeah,
and they make sure every investors get professional advice.
Because there was one case regarding commodity trading, I think in 2020, where I think oil crashed to below zero. Have you heard of that?
What is that?
Oil price. That was, I think,
oil price. Yeah. Right. The futures of oil price. Yes, I remember back in that time, you can purchase barrels of oils, just a few cents, right?
Yeah, it went below zero. So I think the lowest it went is like negative $10. So people actually pay you money to actually buy oil. Yeah, but
they get oil and they get paid.
Yeah, so that happened. I think for one day, it's like I think if I'm not wrong, it's like oil ETF was dumping futures.
Oh yeah, I remember that time they have some storage problem and they have no place to store the oils, right?
Yeah, so
then that's why the price plummeted.
Yeah, so a lot of retail investors lost a lot of money. Yeah, they lost a lot of money and they wanted their money back because I mean like a lot of financial advisors got flagged out because they misrepresented the product and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this is one of the reasons why like if the black swan event occur, the retail investors are protected.
Yeah, it's reasonable because when it comes to crypto, it's very volatile, and we have seen something terrible like Terra.
Yeah.
And yeah, some people just borrow a lot of money on margin, and then they just all in one bet in Terra, and then got wrecked. And it's also reasonable to restrict retail traders without professional knowledge to trade like this. And reasonable, I would say reasonable.
Yeah, but I feel that $1 million is too much. Maybe 200,000. Yeah, I'm not sure like how Hong Kong consider like institutional investors, because for Singapore, I think as long as you have more than 200,000 Singapore dollars or 250,000 Singapore dollars, you're considered institutional investor.
Oh, I see. So maybe that's 1 million HKD and somewhere equivalent to 200,000 Singapore dollar, right?
Yeah, I think somewhere around there.
Yeah. So yeah. Better.
How about for China wise, Dr. Stephanie.
Don't talk about China. It's so forbidden in China.
Yeah. All right, and let's move on to candy drop. And a lot of our audience have been waiting for the candies. Make sure you trade enough to earn crystals on Huobi app. And also, yeah, same thing. Candy drop tokens will be randomly distributed to registered participants. Make sure you register for the candy drop. And we'll select some lucky stars and check your SMS because you might be the lucky star to receive 100 USDT. And yeah, I hope you receive the airdrop. And yeah, that's all for today. Make sure you visit our website, research.huobi.com. Check out our latest reports and yeah, stay updated to market. And we would like to see you next week. Thank you for listening. Yeah, thank you, Ben and Stephanie, for sharing the very helpful information. Yeah, educational stuff. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Johnny.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
I'll
bye-bye.
see you next week. See you guys next week.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.